We're talking about NXT. So speaking of NXT, you said you haven't watched NXT in a while, right? Or
I watch NXT every week.
Impact was when you said you hadn't watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you're such a big NXT mark. Forget me, man. Sorry. God. I watched this week's show too.
Good.
I thought it was.
I'm glad you did.
I did. I'm a big fan of Heavy Machinery. Really like those guys. So they're moving forward, obviously, with the is it the Undisputed Era or Undisputed?
I don't know.
With the worst. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Adam Cole. They're the main attraction right now in NXT. I think they're called the Undisputed Era or Undisputed. I'm not sure, but they are the main focus of the organization right now, and I think that's the right thing to do. They have a burgeoning feud. Burgeoning?
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 Budding?
Bludgeoning. No, you're right. Budding. It's budding. Budding feud with Sanity, and the main event this week was EY versus Adam Cole. The match didn't get much time. It got about 8 or 9 minutes. What did you think of it? Was it
short? Yeah, I thought it was like 5 or 6. To be honest, but it was not long. They didn't really do a whole lot. If they would have given it maybe 10 or 15, that would have been better. But I mean, the right
probably don't want to give that match away on free TV, right? I think they, and a Undisputed Era versus Sanity 3-on-3 match. That match has a lot of potential. That's something you might see down the line. But I saw for the next NXT Takeover show, who is it? It's Red Dragon versus Authors of Pain versus Sanity for the tag team title. I believe that's what I saw.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember all the spoilers that came out. That sounds right because I do know Authors of Pain is scheduled to return at some point here.
Okay. Are Red Dragon going to win the title?
I don't know.
Do you think they're going to win?
I don't know yet. It's too soon to tell. I have to let the booking play out and see how it goes. I don't know. I mean, are they going to do McIntyre against Cole right away? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that either. It's hard to say. And then they just put the titles on McIntyre and Sanity respectively at the last takeover. So I don't know if they're going to turn around and switch one or both of them right away. I mean, logic would dictate that if you have this new group that has come in and you're trying to get them with momentum, if you're going to put them in title matches immediately, then they should win. Right. I would think. So that would make, again, if they're going to keep going down that path, then they should get both titles right away and be running with both of those probably until at least WrestleMania weekend.
And then you have the faces win, and then hopefully by that time they go to the main roster.
Maybe.
Look at that. You just freestyle booked until WrestleMania for NXT.
We'll see. They haven't been there that long, so I usually I stay around like a year or so. I don't know if they'll stay. They only really kind of quote unquote debuted SummerSlam weekend
about a month ago. Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. That would be my thought now. If they're going to put them both in title matches at the next takeover, which is in Houston in November, I believe.
Is it for Survivor Series weekend?
I think so.
Okay.
Then I would think that you would have them both win so that they both have the titles. Authors of Pain would then probably leave, I would expect, and then we'll go from there.
How far away do you think Roderick Strong is from the main roster?
Probably a decent amount away.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't. He doesn't really have much. They did that whole story with his real life and his wife and his kid and all that, which was nice. And then he got the win over Bobby Roode before he left. Now he's going to fight McIntyre for the championship next week on next week's show. But he doesn't seem to have much of a character or long-term arc right now. And I don't know, putting him on the main roster, I don't know what they would do with him right now.
Same thing they're doing with Sami Zayn.
Yeah, which is not what you want.
No,
right? So,
definitely not. I think it's best he stays in NXT. I think you're right. You think McIntyre? I don't know if they're going to bring McIntyre back to the main roster anytime soon either. I feel like he was there and it didn't really work out well for him, and he seems to be doing pretty well in NXT. But I feel like his win for the title was really overshadowed by Cole, O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So I would like to see him stay around the title picture too. But then you have a guy like EY, who's not around the title picture, but EY's got to be almost 40, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think him and Roode are pretty close to the same age.
38, 39, 40. So where are they going to go? Or are we going to see Cole versus EY versus Galloway around Royal Rumble at the NXT show.
I don't know. I don't know if they see EY as at that level.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, they've never really put him at that level since he's gotten here. I mean, since he's been with Sanity, he's just been. I mean, I think their first main feuds with Sanity, right, were Ty Dillinger. I think he kind of feuded with him a bunch, and then he fought Roderick once or twice and lost those matches, and now he's kind of, again, they're feuding with the Undisputed Era or whatever they are, but I would imagine that Saturday's not going to get the upper hand at the end of that. So he seems like he's just a guy that's kind of there to work with different people in the middle of the card. Maybe floating up and down in various spots, kind of like
Chris Hero style.
Kind of like Cassius Ono is right now, where he'll wrestle certain guys. He could be in the title picture. He might be a little bit lower than that. He could be in a tag team. He can do different things and just try to get quality matches and develop their storylines and feuds as they want, because they trust some of these guys as veterans to do that with some of the younger wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, then you had who is this kid that Cassius Ohno beat on NXT this week? Eichner,
yeah.
There is no way he is 205 and below. Your man's walking around like 240. Unless he's like 3'9", he is a monster. And he pulls off that triple jump moonsault pretty well. I thought that was a good match too. And I think you're right about Cassius Ohno. He's in that, like, should they need somebody to go to the title picture, he's always going to be ready. But for right now, they're gonna put him in, like, with the Itamis of the world. There's so many guys in NXT, but you have 1 hour a week, and you have one singles title, right? You have the champ.
Yeah.
You have one singles title, and you have a lot of guys that are just there. You don't see a lot of them. These are the guys that probably should be on your Raws and your SmackDowns, but they don't have. I guess they don't have the charisma. They're like Hideo Itami. Like, what's up with him? Oni Lorcan. He's getting himself over with. Who's the other dude that looks just like him?
Danny Burch.
Danny Burch, yeah. Those are guys that could be doing something, but they're just kind of. They're not circling the drain. That's a poor wording. They're kind of just treading water. How about that? They're treading water, But NXT has been a good show. I thought it was a really good show this week. Were you a big Heavy Machinery guy? Like a big mark for them?
I like them just fine. I mean,
some different,
Yeah.
And then who's the monster with the Popeye forearms?
Lars or whatever his name
Lars Fredrickson. Lars Ulrich? No. Lars whatever. He's
I don't want to guess because I'm going to be wrong, but I think it's like Lars Anderson or something like that.
Lars Ulrich? No, that's a guy from Lars NXT. As we Google this live, Lars Sullivan. He's huge, man. I would like to see him versus Braun Strowman at some point. I think that's something that's got legs, as the kids say. But I thought NXT was a good show, and I think, like we said, I think the Undisputed Era and Sanity, it's fresh. It's a different look for NXT, because for me, when Bobby Roode was there, it's kind of when I stopped paying attention as much. No offense to Bobby Roode, but I thought it just kind of got stale after a while. And there's just so much talent right now in NXT. They fit like four matches into the show this week, right?
Yeah, I think that it's only an hour, like you said, so it's hard to get everybody on each week. But it also helps because then you can build to the following weeks, and they advertise stuff, out each week. Like 2 weeks ago, they said it was going to be McIntyre versus Strong, right, for the title in 2 weeks. And then this week he said it was going to be Gargano versus Andrade Almas in 2 weeks. So now they've got stuff that they've taped. And last week I think they advertised Cole's debut, so they had that this week.
Yeah, that's true.
They've had stuff where they can say, okay, this week it's going to be this is happening and this is happening. And now they've got some of these women's matches that are going to happen to try to find out who's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way for the vacated Women's Championship. So the 1 hour shows, I think, lend themselves more to longer term and more meticulously laid out plans of booking, because as where you need to go, as opposed to Raw where it's 3 hours every week, so you don't know, like, you have to fill out every, and it's, I don't know, it's just, I'm sure it's very difficult to do. I have no idea, but it just makes it a lot more challenging to try to fill 3 hours versus you can tape 4 1 hour shows in one night and you're good for a month type of thing.
Hell, you could take 4 30-minute shows and then just do video packages. But I think you're right about that. They do a very good job in NXT of getting you to watch next week, or at least telling you what's going to happen. So it's something you can think about throughout the week. But I have been really enjoying NXT, so we'll see where that I haven't read the spoilers either, so I'm going to keep my eyes glued to the TV for NXT. And really quickly, I think I sent you the video or the picture before. You know what happens when you jump in the ring if you're a fan and the Undisputed Era is in the ring? You're going to get kicked in the face by Kyle O'Reilly. So I wonder what that fan was thinking. He jumped the guardrail. It was the Undisputed Era versus Heavy Machinery and Cassius Ohno. Like, what? You think you're going to jump in the ring and somebody's not going to kick you in the face? Like, I would love to hear the fan side of that story. But enough pro wrestling. I think what people really listen to our show for, because I'm sure they've all made it 41 minutes, right? Yeah. Is our new favorite segment, Two Idiots Talking Sports.
You're watching Channel 4 News with 5-time Emmy Award-winning anchor Ron Burgundy and Tits McGee. Fish tacos are the tits. Tits! Show us your tits!
If nothing else comes from this show, that intro is one of my favorite of all time. While we...
Do you want the NFL music?
Yeah, I was just going to say, probably should have queued you up on that one. So, another week down. We're already, 3 weeks into the NFL season?
Yeah, this is week 4, man.
It's brutal, man. I hate it. It feels like football's gone forever, and then when it's here, it's like...
Oh, here you go.
Right where we left off last week. Tremendous.
Actually, it is. So.
Yeah. So, I think as we talked about last week, the London game was a little bit surprising to me. Jaguars, I wouldn't expect the Jaguars to put up 44 points all week, let alone one game against the Baltimore Ravens. But,
no, but crazy things happen in London with these games, so that's what happens.
Yeah,
there's another one this week, so
yeah,
be careful if you're looking at
Miami and New Orleans, correct?
Yes.
I'm prepared, man. I'm prepared.
Okay, good.
So speaking of prepared, I'm don't remember who I picked last week, so I'm excited to see where we are in the rankings.
You don't remember what we picked last week?
No, I don't. Where were we? Let's see.
You went 2-1 last week. I went 3-0.
3-0? Hold on. I don't believe this.
You don't believe it?
No. Who did the Colts play?
They played the Browns at home. They were getting a 1.5.
Cowboys -3. Damn it. Who did I miss out on?
You had the Broncos -3 at Buffalo.
You thought that would have been a lock, huh? Every single time the football picks are on, somebody's calling the house. This guy's a stud, man. Tell one of your biddies they can't, who is that? Who is that? Is that Kimona?
It's a private caller.
A private call. Is that private call? Why is there avatar boobs? Who's calling? Who?
What's an avatar boobs?
An avatar, on your cell phone, when you calls, it shows up the avatar of the person, and it's nothing but tits, man.
It's my house phone.
You're just really ruining,
I know.
ruining the mystique here. All right, so let's go.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, I want you to go first.
All right.
Let's see who we're taking this week. Everybody knows the deal. We each pick 3 with the point spread. We're going to win this week. So now, are we tied?
We are tied for the year.
We are tied for the year, Daddy. Let's do this. Who are you going with this week?
I'll take the Saints in London -3. I don't have any faith in the Dolphins with Jay Cutler, at all.
I have faith in J.J. He's due for a breakout game, but I don't know if this is going to be it. So
yeah, I'll take the Saints -3.
Taking the Saints -3. All right, I'm taking the Detroit Lions +2 over the Vikings. I don't know if Casey Keenum's going to play, if it's going to be Sam Bradford. What?
Casey Kasem? Is that what you said?
Casey Keenum. Casey Kasem. I don't know if Shaggy and Scooby-Doo's going to play. I'm telling you, Matt Stafford's going to throw the ball all over the place, and they're going to beat the Vikings straight up.
Okay. I'll take the Ravens getting 3 points at home against the Steelers. Those games are always close, A. B, the Steelers are a different team on the road than they are at home, especially in the division. Usually these games are pretty tight, so I'm going to say Baltimore will bounce back from last week's debacle. I'll take them at home getting 3 points.
That's a good pick. The Ravens, those are always tough. I'm also, even though they stepped on my nuts last week, I'm going to take the Broncos giving up 2.5 at home to the Raiders. Mainly because my daily fantasy, I went Trevor Siemian to Emmanuel Sanders like crazy this week, and you know what? Derek Carr just hasn't been very good this season. And McCrabtree's hurt, kind of hurt, may play, may not play. Marshawn Lynch has been pedestrian at